is episode 28 of Talk Disney to Me for February 7th, 2015.
Welcome everybody to Talk Disney to Me, the Disney Academia podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Danielle.
I'm Prince Eric.
You know who I am.
Do we?
Do we?
Yeah.
I'm Rachel.
Not introducing it, you know.
Now, okay guys, we're in our beginning changes to Talk Disney to Me now, you know. This is our first episode where we're focusing on one topic. It's just very strange, but we're going to do it. But first, before we begin, we have a voice message from Andre, so let's take a listen to that.
Hi. Do you know Uglup from Stream or anything like that?
So, Andre, to answer your question, well, first of all, thank you for sending us a SpeakPipe message. That's always awesome. Your first SpeakPipe message.
Yes!
Indeed.
You should get a medal.
Oh, indeed, he should. A nice gold medal.
Yes.
I want a medal.
No, you can't. You didn't leave the first SpeakPipe message.
Somebody should have told me to, and then I would have done it.
Oh.
This has been talked about since episode 1.
Well, anyway, to answer Andre's question, we do know Glup or Zeek. In fact, he is here right now with us on the show. Say hello, Zeek.
Hey, y'all.
Everybody, this is Zeek. He hosts our YouTube show, Behind the Magic, and he's agreed to come on this episode. We're very excited to have you.
Super excited.
And I am very excited to be here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very nice.
It's always a great attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And before we begin our episode, I just want to tell our listeners to go visit our sponsor, Audible. This episode is brought to you by Audible.com, the internet's leading provider in audiobooks with over 150,000 titles to choose from. Visit this special link, www.audibletrial.com/talkdisney, and when you sign up for a free 30-day trial, you also get a free audiobook of your choice. My recommendation would be Beauty by Robin McKinley. I just started reading this book, and it's really fascinating to see a reinterpretation of the story of Beauty and the Beast. Once again, visit audibletrial.com/talkdisney, sign up for the free 30-day trial, and you will get a free audiobook. By doing this, you are helping our podcast, you are helping us bring episodes to you. So, we appreciate the support and hope you enjoy your free audiobook. So, everybody, today we will be talking about the movie Beauty and the Beast, specifically asking the question, is the Beast's name Adam? Before we actually get into the discussion, I want to talk about this controversy of Beast's name being Adam, because the whole point of me asking the question, is Beast's name Adam, is not to say, is it literally Beast or Adam, but to ask, who does art belong to? The artist or the audience? Because it's becoming more commonly known that Beast's name is not actually Adam. And I want to quickly lay out the reasons why. I'm not going to go into all of them, but I'll put links in the show notes with a video talking about them. So, there's a guy named Keep Lapinig. Have you guys heard of him? Or
No.
Lapinig?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so you have heard of him?
I might have, yeah.
He's
Go
on a
ahead.
podcast called Modern Mouse Radio, another Disney podcast.
Oh,
And
I thought you meant like the band Modern Mouse.
oh no, not that one.
Okay.
But close. And he made 2 videos talking about why Beast's name isn't Adam. When I first saw these, I was like, oh, are you freaking kidding me? I still think his name's Adam. But then I had to admit, I was like, okay, it seems he's right. He basically says that the name Adam came from, first of all, people said it was in an encyclopedia called Disney A to Z by Dave Smith. And basically, it says that he mentions Adam as Beast's real name, which is wrong. There's no mention of this. In fact, this encyclopedia is so rare that it's easy for people to say that it would be in there because they don't have proof. So they're just like, oh, well, it's probably in there, when it's not. Also, there was a game from Disney Interactive where the Beast's name it's like in a question and it says his name's Adam. But when it was released in, I think, the 90s, Disney Interactive, like Disney itself wasn't making those games. They let third parties make them. So they might have approved them, but they didn't really thoroughly go through and see, oh, is this accurate? Blah, blah, blah. It was released in 1997, it says, and the game developer was... the game developing was stopped in 2003 with third parties. Sorry, I said that wrong. So, from 1997 to 2003, no Disney Interactive games were being released actually through Disney Interactive. They were through third parties. And also, just because it's in a game doesn't mean it's true. Like, look at Kingdom Hearts. Like, if Donald did something in Kingdom Hearts, you wouldn't say, oh, that's canon. Not really. It's part of Kingdom Hearts. And even think of Kingdom Hearts itself, you wouldn't call that game Disney. You would call it Square Enix, because Disney had nothing to do with that game. They just licensed their characters.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's very interesting, because also, we went to the travel agency today, and there was a book that had a picture of Marlin and Dory, but underneath it said Marlin and Nemo. So there's one very interesting example of a book that was put out by Disney.
What?
Yeah. And they didn't even correct that. So, yeah. And also, like, if you think about it, Keith made a great example in his videos. Say you start working at the Coca-Cola company tomorrow, and it's not like you would go in there and know all the history of Coca-Cola.
Depends on how invested you were.
Well, true,
Yeah,
but,
you could be a Coke fanatic.
But that doesn't matter.
Coke addict?
You could be a huge Coca-Cola fanatic, and you still probably wouldn't know everything. You could try, but I mean, it could be possible, but I doubt it.
Do we think the CEO of Disney knows everything Disney?
Right, exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We hope.
Yeah, he's like the Pope of Disney. He's infallible. If he says something is true in Disney, it then becomes true, and Disney history gets rewritten.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so
Somebody should tweet him.
I think so. So also, real quick, because I'll try to make this short as possible. In the Beauty and the Beast commentary that was just released, that Diamond Edition, the Blu-ray, they actually say when Belle calls Beast from during that battle with Gaston, they said that when they got to this part, they were like, "Oh, we haven't named him yet." They never gave him a name. Even Glenn Keane, I'm pretty sure it was Glenn Keane who actually said they never named him. He was always Beast. So, and then think about like Ferdinand from like Snow White. The prince is not named Ferdinand, but there's a rumor that it is. So, it's stuff like that. Now I have more here, but it's taking a little while, so I'll stop. You can watch Keith's video. It's in 2 parts. It's really good. So, but now to get into the discussion. So, we want to ask, is Beast's name really Adam? Like, would you say that his name's Beast because you want to go by the artist who created him? Or would it be Adam from what has become fan fiction and fan myth and stuff? Do you think that Adam fits?
His
John,
name is so Adam.
Yes. His name is Adam.
Okay.
Because he existed, he was 11 years old when he was turned into the Beast, and he had to have had a name for those 11 years. He didn't just exist. I mean, he lived for 11 years, so he had to have had a name as a ruling prince. So he had to have a name before he was the Beast.
But
Beast
they'd
is
say
just
he
the
doesn't
title.
have one.
Beast is just the title that they gave him because that's what he was. They're just saying, "Oh, look, it's the Beast," because they didn't know what else to call him. They're just saying that's the thing that he was.
So you're saying that... Sorry, go ahead.
I agree with Eric. I think if his name didn't appear before, it was an oversight, not that he didn't have a name.
Yeah.
And that his name definitely isn't Beast.
So what about things like... Well, okay, let's hear from Rachel and JD first before I can say what I was going to say. What do you guys think?
I feel like it depends really on, like, the context. Like, if he's a beast, it's not like you're going to call him Adam, because it would depend on... Cause I wouldn't want to be called my real name when I was a beast, because then it's just like, yeah, I know I'm not that person. But I don't think getting the name back after, how long was he a beast?
10 years.
10 years, yeah.
I don't know, I'd want to change my name, so I don't think he would keep the same one.
Oh, interesting. I never.
One thing
thought
that
about it
bothered me is that when he was turned back into the human, he was supposed to be 21 years old. I didn't look like that when I was 21, and I got really mad that I didn't.
You needed a gym membership, that's why.
No, I mean, he looked like this big adult guy. When I was 21, I didn't look like some...
He was
I always,
ripped.
No, when
He
I
looks
was
like a supermodel.
when I was a kid, when that movie came out, 21, oh my god, that's such an old age. You're such an adult when you're 21 years old. And then I'm 21, and everybody still treats you like a kid, and you don't look like that as you saw them looking when you... So, they lied to me.
Apparently.
That just always bothered me. I'm sorry, he should have looked like an actual 21-year-old person would have looked like.
Well, for that time period that the movie was set in, I think that's what they looked like. I mean,
Yeah.
they were all advanced in maturity, so,
Right.
because they all had specific responsibilities, unlike the 90s, where people still were, at 21, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not doing the same things as people in the 1800s.
Well,
Yeah.
that brings me back to my other point.
Yeah,
If
you
look
died by
at-
like 30s in the 1800s.
If you look at, like, Frozen,
Well, here, let's get into
they're
that
a lot
another
more
time.
immature when they're 21 than when the Beast and Belle are 21.
I'm gonna cut you off because,
Oh, man.
well, we only have so much time to stick on. We have to stay on this topic right now. But we-
Everybody comment if you want us to talk about Frozen.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh!
Anyway, okay.
Please cut that out.
I don't
Yeah.
think they know our history with Frozen
No.
yet, Eric.
Let's
No,
go.
they do. They've heard
Passionately
the other.
disagree.
Let's go to JD's perspective now.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say his name was always Beast.
Okay,
His
all
name
right.
was just Beast the whole time.
Horrible
His
kid
parents were like,
growing
"Look at that guy."
It sounds like a nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a
Like-
nickname.
Like
Yeah.
he played football in high school and people nicknamed him the Beast. When he became
Yeah.
the Beast,
Yeah, except for the
It's
fact
like-
that he was turned
it's
into
like-
the Beast when he was 11.
okay, you can get nicknames at 11. Stinky or something like that.
And his
Nicknames.
beastly
It's not
attitude.
like people don't go around and be like, oh, I want to be called Stinky. No, you get stuck with nicknames. They just,
This is true. Yeah,
Well,
I
okay,
can see
just the
that.
guy with a nickname.
So, so think about, for example, I'm gonna bring in other topics as well. Like, what about things like Harry Potter with J.K. Rowling when she said that Dumbledore is gay? All right.
Who cares? Harry Potter stinks.
No, we're not getting into that.
This is a Disney
So I
Brought it
podcast.
up.
This is not a Harry Potter podcast.
I might have brought it up, but we're not arguing if Harry Potter stinks or not. We're arguing if, what matters. Is it the
Well,
artist
that's
or the
the-
audience?
That's something that the artist had said and that the audience was thinking. So I think it was a
I
pretty
was never
unanimous
thinking
thing.
that.
I was never thinking
The
that
person
at all.
that wrote the book said that, and so everybody was just kind of like, huh, okay, because they didn't really have anything to disprove it.
I
So
think
they just
it's
kind of
true,
went
though.
with it.
Like, if you look in the 7th book when you're reading it, and you'll hear Dumbledore's relationship with, like, Grindelwald, it could be seen as him, like, having feelings for Grindelwald in that book. But does it matter? Like, she never said it in the book. So,
I don't think it matters. I think it's more of just like a side plot where people would have the ability to make fan fiction from it.
Right.
It's more of something, since the book is over, it gives people more of a, for people that loved Harry Potter, some people in this call, it gives them more of a reason to keep thinking about Harry Potter. To love that part of their childhood that they had grown up with.
Yes, I agree.
True.
It increases the longevity of the series
Right.
by
But-
adding random stuff after the fact.
Yeah, but see, I disagree. I hate that. I want Harry Potter to be over. I'm done with it.
I don't want it to be over.
I
I don't
don't-
want it to ever be over.
Well, I like enjoying the series. It won't be over in that sense. But when she keeps saying, like, in interviews, oh, well, maybe Harry and Hermione should have ended up together, not Ron and Hermione.
Well,
I'm
it's
sitting
kind
there,
of
I'm
like
please stop.
It's kind of
No,
like
that's
Star
Well,
Wars.
hindsight.
People always argue about stuff in Star Wars, and people always argue about, they went back and changed stuff. Who shot first, Han or Greedo? They go back and they change stuff and people argue about it. It's just part of the fandom and part of being a fan of something.
But I'm talking about the artists though, like them saying it.
No, they did say it.
No, but well, that's what I mean. Like, I personally, I want a book to be over. Like, stop. To me, that ruins it. To say,
But
Well, because if you do that, then that means like if the artist says things like this, it makes the world that they created more real because there's an ongoing. They keep changing things about it. If it's
But
just
it's a
okay, it's
book
done,
series.
then that means it seems less real because the books are done being written, so therefore that world is real. No, if she keeps
The
changing
world
things,
dies.
yeah,
no, I just
the world
that's
is
so not
always
true.
going to be there.
Charles
true.
Dickens has lived on for years, and he's
I
not
don't
allowed
agree.
to say anything. Yes, he has. Are you kidding me? Like,
I
how
don't
can
like
you
it.
say that? Oliver Twist was adapted into Oliver and
People
Company.
aren't arguing about Oliver Twist though.
But does that matter? No.
No, but I think they don't have. I mean, some people do have the same, like, passion for Dickens. But in a world like Harry Potter or Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever, it's more of a sci-fi where anything can happen. Oliver Twist was based in real life.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
true,
with
but
the ability of sci-fi-ness, you can have anything happen. Like,
But-
I've read
True.
some far-out fan fiction where it's just like, okay,
well,
really?
But see, that's different. Fan fiction versus the actual author. Like,
Right, but that's the point. It's not like you can make fan fiction
But
off
who's
of
to
Oliver Twist.
and who's to say that fan who writes it then becomes an author? So
I
who's
agree.
to say that their story isn't right either?
I agree. Well, no, it's not really. You
Well,
can't-
people write sequels, especially in movies, all the time, who aren't the original writer.
You're right,
That's
but
There are sequels written. So who's to say that the fan fiction can't take... That goes to your broader argument about who actually owns this stuff.
I think
That's true.
who owns it? Yeah, you're right. Who does own it? Who knows? But if it's a person's like, if say J.K. Rowling, writes another Harry Potter book, I would read it. But if somebody writes a fan fiction about Harry Potter, me personally, I'm not gonna. I mean, maybe I'll read it, but I'm not gonna take
I
it
don't
as real.
read it.
Like, I'm gonna be like, no, why would I take this
Well,
person
okay.
seriously?
Well, what if J.K. Rowling said, "I support this. This is canon. Like, I like this short story. It's canon now." I'm not saying she would, but what if she did? Because I mean, that's what
Which
Star
happens
Wars
in
did for the
comics
longest
all
You're
the
time.
right.
time.
That
Yeah,
does
in
happen all the
comics
time.
too.
For me,
Yeah.
okay, so personally, I would say I think canon is canon. She can't just say what isn't canon. Charles,
But she's the writer.
she's the writer, but that
Yeah,
doesn't
she's
matter.
the creator, even more than the
Yeah.
writer. She's the creator.
She's the creator,
So
but 7 books.
She's the original storyteller.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Can't you just go, dragons are extinct now, and it's canon because
They're gone.
But she,
Yeah, they're
she
gone.
can say dragons are extinct, but that doesn't mean it's canon. There's canon has a strict definition. There's 7
Well,
books. If it's not
if it's
in there,
written
She could
on
write another
paper,
book, put it in
it would be there.
paper somewhere.
no,
Yeah.
I think you're confused about what canon is then, because 7 books are
Alright,
canon.
What
You
is the
can't-
definition of canon?
Let's bring it up.
Something that goes on a castle that you shoot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pirate ship. All the best cannons are on pirate ships.
You're right.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever said it goes on. That was you, Eric, wasn't it?
What?
Yep.
It's the
With the
general
canon-
law,
you said
rule,
the canon
principle, or
castles?
criterion by
Yeah.
someone
Wait, she's reading it.
It can go on castle.
by which
Alright.
something is
Was it-
judged.
Wait, sorry, say that again.
It can either be, there's 2 different definitions. It's a general law, rule, principle, or criterion by which something is judged, or a collection or list of sacred books accepted as genuine, which I wouldn't necessarily make Harry Potter sacred.
No.
Oh, I would. I would.
Sacred.
Well,
Yeah.
No, not sacred.
I mean,
And the
unless
first
it's struck
definition
down.
definitely leaves room for somebody to just say something.
Exactly.
So
It
it
leaves
doesn't
room
have
to
to
be
be
if
judged.
you go to
And it
English
can be
classes,
just said by the creator.
that's not true though. Like, I would disagree with that. Like, where is that from? Wikipedia? Like, Wikipedia, you can write anything. And
Well, I
the
mean,
internet, you can write
Wikipedia is
anything.
always
What's
going to be
Webster's-
correct. It's complete
Like,
law.
we learned in school, like, you're just making things up now. 7 books of Harry Potter is canon. That means Beetle the Bard, if it's not in Harry Potter, those other Beetle the Bard books are not canon. It doesn't matter. Like, that's
Even
not
I don't know.
Beetle and the Bard stories did count as
the
and-
7 Brothers one, yeah. Because that's in the books.
But the other short stories that were in the the
just
side,
because they weren't
spin-off
in the
book
books doesn't mean that it's
that's what
not
I'm saying.
canon or that it couldn't have been
Right,
existed in the
that's
book.
exactly.
No, that's what I'm
those,
saying.
Those are canon.
That's a different canon, though. That's not Harry Potter canon.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. The 7 books of Harry Potter are canon. You can't just add an 8th book. The 7 books.
Well, I'm not
are
adding
canon.
an 8th book.
Well, no,
The
it's
Beetle
just
Bird.
it's just.
And why can't you add an 8th book?
Yeah,
Because it's not canon.
No, that's the point.
world
And
exists
canon does not
beyond
mean
what's
that it's
in the
only
books.
7. It can be. It just has to be a group of books, not having to be 7 or 8. Okay, now I'm getting into like Monty Python. Not 7, not 8, not 4, whatever. But it just has to be in the same group. So if she continues to write books and calls them in the Harry Potter series or Harry Potter universe, it would be
They're canon.
added
No.
to
Yeah.
that canon.
Even if she doesn't
Yeah.
write it and she has somebody else write it and she says it's part of it as the creator, it
makes
would
it
be
a-
canon as well.
It's still canon, yeah.
But it's
I mean,
not.
look at,
Like,
The Bible
it's not.
doesn't have one author either. The Bible is put together
Right.
of books of,
Well,
and that
you're
is
right.
considered holy script and canon, and it's got many authors. So as
No,
long as
you're
it's part of
right,
the
but-
collection of books,
As long as it's an authenticated work by the author.
Yeah,
Like
like
I'm
when
talking
the-
about strictly Harry Potter series.
yes.
That
would
Beetle the
still
Bard
be-
is not about it, though. It's just
Yes,
it's
it has
in
it
the
has the
world,
stories that have
though.
been mentioned from the main 7 books.
But that doesn't mean
So-
it's canon.
it,
like,
it
I've
better
studied canon.
explains
if
Like-
it's
the works
authorized
that
by
were-
her, then it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, I went to
Does
school
she-
for this. Like, we studied this stuff. Like, we actually study works of literature where we talk about what is canon. I'm telling
Well, I think
you,
it really
it's not.
depends on like what kind of class you went to, because it would just be your teacher's opinion giving you that information.
I had multiple teachers though tell me this, and it's not an opinion. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that you can't think that it's part of the Harry Potter universe, but what is canon? That's not canon. 7 Harry Potter books, that's canon. Beauty and the Beast movie, like Enchanted Christmas, that's a Disney
That is
sequel
still
canon.
Part
That's canon.
No, it's not. The
Yup,
Beauty and the
that's
Beast movie
canon.
is
Yes, it
canon.
is.
No, it is.
it's not.
Because at the beginning they described that story takes place during the original Beauty and the Beast.
But
just
it's
it
a
was
separate movie. That's
And
not
it's part
canon.
of the creator. But then,
They
by
didn't
that
do it.
aspect, aren't you saying the second Harry Potter book is not part of the first Harry Potter book?
That's true.
Because it's a sequel to the first one?
That's
Well,
true.
it's not a part of it though. Like,
So then it
I'm
wouldn't
I'm
be
talking
part of
about a
canon.
7
So
series,
then that
though.
wouldn't be part of canon.
But
So
see,
anything that happens after the
you're
first
twisting my
book.
words now, though. You're twisting my
No,
words.
that is
Yes, you
No,
are. Yes,
I'm
you are.
reciting your words and not twisting them.
I said
I'm
the
asking
7
you a
Harry
question.
Potter books. So yes, you are twisting my words. 7.
So
books.
I'm
Hold on.
asking
Okay.
if a sequel, the second book or
What?
the second movie, would be canon or not.
Well,
Yeah, but
here's
the
the
s-
Or is
difference,
anything
though.
that's
There's
not a
huge
sequel-
difference.
But the second Beauty and the Beast movie isn't a sequel, as in it takes place time after it. It takes place during the original one.
So what would you call it?
Yeah, what would you call it?
Midpool.
Yeah,
Well, it is a
midfall.
midpool.
It's a
Yeah,
midpool.
That is what it's called. Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Like
It's a
Lion
midpool.
King 1.5.
But
That
Yeah,
was
it's
the
a mid-
greatest
yeah.
movie ever.
oh,
That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
am I the
it
only
was
one
pretty
who doesn't
great.
like that here?
No,
Yeah.
Frozen was the greatest movie ever.
Oh
No.
no! Let's not get.
Don't you start these flame wars.
Okay,
No
well then,
flame wars.
I have a question then. Okay, what about
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna say it how I say it, but we'll see. GIFs. What about GIFs? Like the moving images. If the author says it's GIF,
It's
but then-
Jeff.
well, listen.
Jif, like the peanut
Well,
butter?
but then okay, but hold on. No.
Yeah, I say gift
Yeah.
because that's what I want to call it.
Mom's
but-
It's just like if your parents give you a name Danielle and we decide to call you Stinky and it catches and everybody calls you Stinky, then yeah, you might be Danielle, but you might be Stinky too. It's
And-
the
well,
same
hold
as
on.
Beast's name, same as any nickname. If it sticks,
Well, hold
the
on.
masses can name something. It happens all the time.
Well, you're right about that. But what about if you look at it linguistically, GIF is not how you pronounce it. It's actually
But
GIF.
we're not looking at it linguistically.
Yeah, we aren't looking at it linguistically.
I'm
It
not.
sounds like
Well,
a
yes, we
pasta
are.
linguistic.
I'm not.
Well,
it's
no,
like
you're not.
such as the rules.
Well,
I am not.
But I never said that you guys were. What I'm saying
I
is
never
that...
said that you said that we were.
Yes, you did.
I look at it
I
as like
like
a
calling it
draft.
Jif because choosy mums choose Jif.
Yeah, I like Jif because it's the name of the
You
peanut
guys
butter,
keep
and
talking.
I
I'm not
like
finished my
I
sentence.
like peanut butter. I'm sorry that I like peanut butter.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
what I'm saying
Yeah.
is that the author may call it GIF, but linguistically it's pronounced GIF. So what's correct, GIF or GIF? Or,
that's
or
like-
is there a correct answer?
Well, actually, in Harry Potter, Voldemort,
There is no correct answer.
Voldemort is pronounced Voldemort.
I know, and yeah, that's right, yeah.
Because it's
That's
French. The
Right.
French verb mortir, or however you say it, is a verb to die.
Right,
Voldemort, flight from death. So technically, it should be Voldemort.
right. Yeah, you're right.
But it's whatever the author, because it's the author's world. So whatever she decides.
But she did
is
say that.
how it
I
works.
didn't
She
she say
did
that?
say it, but the movie.
But I say it's the people's world, and
Okay.
whatever the people decide, it takes over.
I
The
see-
masses will choose what it is.
Just because the people
Historically,
say it doesn't
the
mean it's
masses
true, though.
decide.
Historically, yes, but the author should still be a part of that. Like, you can't just exclude just because the masses.
No, they
say it.
shouldn't.
What about
What?
giraffe? That's the use
Giraffe.
of a hard G. Giraffe.
Yeah, I was saying that
Giraffe.
people get to
Yes.
choose what something is,
Giraffe.
and as soon as they publicize something for profit or money, they're handing it over to the masses who are paying for it. Once you pay for it, you own it. It's
What
like
about Pocahontas?
if I bought a car from you, I wouldn't have to let you drive it every third Sunday because, you know, you had it at one point, so you still kind of own it. You sold it. As soon as an author sells their stuff to the public, it becomes property of the public.
That's
That's a good-
true.
that's
The
a good
people
point.
did pay money to get the book, so they can sort of, it's in their world how they interpret it.
Well, what about Pocahontas then?
What about Pocahontas?
What about it?
That movie's criticized all the time because it changes the way like history books have depicted that story.
Well,
so is
Pocahontas
Is
is a
no
work of
such
fiction.
thing as an accurate history book
But
anyway.
that's what I'm saying, though.
History is always written by the winning group.
but that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
You don't get both sides of the historical story, and it goes to the point I'm saying: the masses will always decide. The people will always be right.
But people
Society
are very critical.
drives.
People are critical of Pocahontas, so that's what I'm saying. Because it changes
People are
history.
critical of everything.
But
Go on
Pocahontas
the
gets a
internet,
lot.
all you'll see is criticism on everything.
But speaking directly about Pocahontas, though, not about everything, about Pocahontas, it gets a lot of hate in groups because it's not historically apparent. I'm using quotes on that, historically accurate. None of us know what happened. So what makes
I mean,
that different?
I never really took it as
doesn't
fact
make it
Neither
because
did I.
it's just fiction and it is claimed
It is
as a
fiction.
work of fiction. So I wouldn't be one of the people that would argue it as being fact because you never really know.
Right.
I never really liked
But they
Pocahontas
have
to
the
begin
right.
with, so.
Everybody has the right.
They have the right to interpret how they want. It
Yeah.
belongs to
Yeah.
the masses.
If you pay
Art
money for a
belongs to the
ticket to
people.
go and see it in the movies, if you pay to buy the VHS for it or pay to buy the DVD, you can think of it however you want. Just like
yeah.
the people that made it can think whatever they made with it. They can't force anybody to. If they just want to have it and it be the way that they want it, then they should just write it for themselves and keep it to themselves. When they start
Right.
selling it for money to the public, then the public can think of whatever they want with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Including
I would
ad
agree with that.
revenue, and that goes with everything.
Yes,
All this art that gets released to everybody belongs to everyone.
correct.
True.
Belongs in their own
If you
way.
if you want to think that the prequels to Star Wars are not canon, be my guest.
No, well, those are canon.
The
Badly, but they are.
I don't have
They-
anything
they
to
are
say about
canon.
that. Yeah.
They are super canon. The
Yeah.
most canon. They
Oh,
happen.
gosh. They did happen, but I don't know what to say
Oh.
about them.
They sadly happened.
Jar Jar
Aw.
Binks is epic.
The
He is
first
the
one is
best
terrible.
character ever.
Episode 3.
Misa Jar Jar Binks. Misa think people gonna die.
I'm the only
You know.
person who doesn't get that
It's
reference.
fun.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. I promise to never watch
It's Jar
those
Jar
movies.
Binks.
Yeah.
Jar
you
Jar
go.
Binks
Please.
is so amazing.
Jar
A
Jar
couple years
Binks.
ago, the only thing we did was
Yeah,
make fun of
almost.
Jar Jar Binks.
Hmm.
That's
He
what I
can
remember.
double jump in the Lego video game.
I know, it's amazing.
He's important.
Here's
Yes.
another question.
Only
Actually.
reason why you play him. Sorry.
That's okay. That was funny. So I have a question now. I can't believe I'm bringing Frozen into this.
Oh
I
my
just
gosh.
thought of it.
Yes,
Oh,
here we
no.
go. Here
This
we
is
go.
Eric. This is for Eric.
Oh, thank
Please
you.
no.
Eric, when you talked about Frozen, you constantly brought up this fact. Well, Frozen wasn't like the original tale that was so much better.
It's true.
But who are you to say that then? Like, if we're talking about who does art belong to?
Well,
like,
I was talking about the fact that they say that it was based on the Snow Queen when it wasn't.
But
and
every
I don't
Disney
like them
movie's
saying
like
that.
But
No,
every
I don't.
Disney movie's like
They
that.
don't. But the Lion King doesn't.
Every
say that
Disney
it's-
movie is a
Exactly.
that it's based
Unless
on.
it's an
But they
original
don't have
book.
it as like a tagline.
Yeah, they
They
do.
don't have. No, they. I don't remember ever seeing the Lion King saying based on Hamlet. And you even said that they said that it
Well,
wasn't based on
No,
Hamlet.
it is. It is based on Hamlet. I was wrong
Yeah,
about
they
that.
said-
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
So
was
now
wrong
you
about
okay? We're going back on that now.
Yeah. No, I looked it up. Yeah, I was wrong.
They don't, and they don't have that as a big. That's the only problem is the fact that they say that they outwardly say that based
Beauty
on
and the Beast says it,
on
Little
Christian
Mermaid.
Andersen. Well, that's closer to the original story than
Not really.
Frozen is to the Snow Queen. So much that they could keep.
None of
the
them are
same
No,
name.
anywhere
not
near
really.
close to the
Have you
original.
read the Little
They're-
If you
Mermaid?
read the originals of any of
I've
those
read
fairy
the original
tales,
Beauty and the Beast, and it's close enough to it that they could keep the same name. Frozen was so far and so much a different story that they changed the name of the story.
Well, that's just
Well-
to appeal to a broader audience.
Yeah, like in the Little
Yeah.
Mermaid,
Why?
it's still very
They didn't change the
different.
Lion King. Why change the Snow Queen?
Because that's appealing.
Like, because
The
whenever I
Lion
hear
King
the
is
Snow
specific.
Queen, all I think of is Narnia.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
Yeah,
she's very
exactly.
similar. Yeah, and he got that. C.S. Lewis got the Queen from Narnia from the Snow Queen tale. So
It's just like when they changed it was gonna be what, Rapunzel, and they changed it to Tangled because they're like, we don't know if boys will like this. I mean, it's
I
stupid,
didn't
it's
really
silly,
like
Exactly.
it either
But-
way, but
it's
that
silly,
movie was
but that's
okay. It was
how
bland,
market
but it
thinks.
wasn't
Oh my
terrible.
gosh.
Rapunzel was great.
What?
Ryder? Oh.
I'm not a huge
It
fan.
wasn't.
either,
See, but
so-
that wasn't based on Rapunzel.
well, yeah,
that
it was.
It was based
Yeah,
on the
what?
character. Rapunzel is about a little poem.
No, it's
Like,
not. It's a
Rapunzel,
story by the
Rapunzel,
Grimm
let
brothers.
down your hair.
But it's
Yeah,
a story
it's
by
no,
the
it's
Grimm brothers.
the poem is based on the story by the
Yeah,
brothers Grimm.
but they changed it because they knew that it was different.
But constantly, like when I talked to, like when I was in college and I talked to people in my major, they would constantly hate Disney because of how much Disney changed from the original work. So, like, basically saying that Frozen did that is
Well,
like
like,
they do it all
I
the time.
personally don't think that Beauty and the Beast or the Little Mermaid changed so much that they could keep the same name. Frozen didn't. Frozen had to change the name because of how different it was.
They changed
also
a
don't-
lot of the names of a lot of their movies.
Beauty and the Beast, well, they didn't. Little Mermaid, they didn't.
Yeah, but it was a
It's
different.
also
time.
different management too.
Yeah, different
so
management.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Better
different
management, but that's a different topic for a different day.
It is a
you're right,
different
but
because I think all the management is great. Things need to change and grow and be different.
Okay.
You
so-
would never
True,
watch
too.
the same thing over and over again.
I
So
would.
you need to change things.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
things have to change. Yeah, with the time. And Disney is, I think, the top one. They're always changing with the times.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Agree with that.
I mean, even that, like, so Frozen might be a certain way, but there's no way that any Disney movie would not go with the times. At least not that I've seen. I don't know if anybody disagrees with that.
I mean, yeah, Beauty and the Beast, like Belle, that character was because of that's how girls were starting to be at that time, right? If
Yeah,
I remember
Right,
correctly.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that's what
that's-
I attached
Compare
to
her to Anna and Elsa, and they're a lot less intelligent and a lot
Well,
more.
but
Well, I wouldn't say
Yeah.
that.
But I
They're
don't
a
think
different
that's
kind.
true.
a
Anna
lot-
It
lived-
might not be based on book smarts for that particular movie versus
Right.
Beauty and the Beast, where she's book smart, but they're very intelligent
I don't
with
think they
their
are.
street
Anna's-
smarts and how they react to things.
I think Anna exemplifies the typical Ugg boot wearing, leggings wearing, Starbucks coffee in one
Well,
hand, iPhone
that
in
would
the
go
other hand.
into the
Modern
dangerous
common
mountainous area to save her sister.
Yeah.
Seriously? Would
That-
she go
that-
if she
All
had her Ugg
girls
boots on?
watched that movie and said how much they thought it was realistic
Wait,
because
so-
they could relate to her hair being messed up when she woke up, yet it wasn't realistic at all when she ran out into the mountains and she looked perfect the whole time.
well, but
Wait, are we trying to talk about realistic Disney movies? Because
Yeah.
I
That's
can't
what I'm
define
just
even
telling
one
you
of
that
them.
that's what those
There's a
people,
talking
But-
that's what
snowman
they
in
said.
Frozen.
but why
That's what
is their
people-
opinion
that's
not
the difference.
valid then? If you're saying that it's the audience's thing, why is their opinion not valid? They can.
I'm
think
saying
that.
It is
but
valid.
It's not consistent.
It's not
Oh my
consistent.
god, I can
but-
relate to this so much because it looks like me when I wake up to go to school. Well, then, if you were running out into the woods, would you look like that? Like, if you can like it for being
I
real-
loved
But
the
every
movie, and I didn't look at it that way.
It's
that's how I
animation, too.
naturally thought it.
But
Mhm.
it's animation though.
Exactly.
Well, then, they're not consistent.
Okay, so you've never looked at a character in an animated film that is fictional, and you've never had something that you can relate to at least a little. Like at all?
It's human nature to relate to them. Yeah,
Well,
you always relate to a character, and that's how you attach to stories.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they weren't relating consistently to her.
Were you relating consistency to anything that you were relating to anyway?
Yes.
Okay, give me an
Like-
example, please.
Yeah.
Well, like Andy from Toy Story.
Actually, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go, what?
Well, he's actually right. Like, I would say, at least for our generation, like, for us, maybe not Rachel, but like for us growing up with Toy Story, I'm maybe not 100, like just on the surface level, I'd say, relating to Andy.
I didn't relate to Andy. Andy was just a background character. He wasn't a main character.
Yeah, I was like,
And I
what did
watched the
Andy
story.
even really
Toy Story 3 when he's going
Yeah,
off
he
the
didn't do
college.
anything. He was giant feet that you thought was going to kill everybody by stepping on the toys.
You guys,
Yeah,
but that's
Toy
the
Story
whole.
3
Relating
Andy,
of his at the beginning of
That's
the first
not a
movie.
character you relate to. You
I
relate to
did.
a main character.
No. What at the beginning of the first movie when he like the way that they have the birthday party and the way that
Yeah.
everything's set up and him in his room playing with the toys and in the third and like he's going to camp in the second one and then in the third movie when he's going off to college and all of his toys are stuck in his little chest and he hasn't touched them for years and they have dust on them.
All
I
right.
was gonna say you were relating to just ideas, and that is
Well, that's
all.
why I
You're
said
not relating to a
surface level.
character on that.
Surface level, that's why I said. But anyway, all right, this was a very intense discussion. So let's go around real quick and we'll say, what do we think Beast's name is? Beast or Adam? So let's go first with Eric.
Okay, what I think is that the Beast's name is Beast when he is the Beast. When he's not the Beast, his name is Adam. But the Beast's name is Beast.
All right, how about you, Rachel?
Well, you've already heard my opinion, so I think his name is Beast when he's a beast, and I would have changed my name with that hairdo to Steven.
Oh,
Because he needs to cut that off.
Yo, Stephen.
there you go. And JD?
I'd say his name is Beast just all the time.
All right, fair enough.
Constant. Or a nickname, perhaps, but that's what I'm going with.
Okay. And what about you, Zeke?
Weighing in this corner is Adam the Beast. I don't even know his last name, but I would insert it there.
Okay,
But I think his name is Adam, and then the Beast in quotation marks.
And I think his last name is Johnson.
Wow.
Adam the Beast Johnson,
Yeah, there you go.
It works. I like
cousin of Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yeah, there you
Yeah!
Oh, God.
Who is also the Tooth Fairy.
Everyone loves The Rock.
Oh, yes.
Everyone.
go. Yeah, that's true. That was the dumbest thing I've
Yup.
ever seen.
Oh my gosh. You have no imagination, sir.
I don't know
I'm
what
sorry,
you
I
guys are
don't
talking about.
imagine The Rock as the Tooth Fairy.
You should.
Oh, are we talking about the Tooth Fairy? That makes
That was an amazing Tooth Fairy, yes.
That wasn't.
Yeah.
Right?
I
If I saw
I
him,
prefer
The
I'd be
sequel
like,
was awful,
I
but
prefer the movie Toothless. If anybody
Oh,
remembers.
yeah, Toothless, yeah.
Toothless in Seattle.
No.
Not quite, but, you know. I'd like
What
to see
year
some
was it
fan
made?
fiction.
In the 90s, it was like a made-for-TV movie.
With Kirstie Alley.
Ah,
Right, Kirstie Alley was
I
in it?
see.
I believe.
It was in the 90s, so it's his favorite.
Mhm, There we go.
I'm gonna say I'm in the middle. I think his name's Adam. I'm gonna say Adam because it fits so well. So
okay.
yeah, I'm saying Adam. But that
Alright.
that ends our show. We're gonna have a new episode coming to you in 2 weeks on March 21st, I believe. So be on the lookout for that, where we talk about Stockholm syndrome and if Belle was a victim of it. Dun dun dun. So I know it's
And-
scary.
Spoiler alert, she wasn't.
Eric.
Or was she?
Spoiler.
Eric, we gotta save that for the discussion. Alright, so anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Be sure to comment and rate and subscribe to our podcast. It means a lot to us, and we want you guys in the discussion. It shouldn't just be us talking about this, you know. You guys have
Comment
stuff to say
about.
Everybody make sure you tell them how right I was about
No.
everything.
Tell them how awful
Everybody-
Frozen is.
Be honest about your opinions and don't be mean to each other.
Yes, so everybody say how bad Frozen is.
That's it.
Anyway, all
Nerd
right.
Nation,
All right. Okay. From all of us at Talk Disney to Me, I'm Danielle.
I'm Prince Eric.
You know who I am.
I do not know who you are.
Well, then
I'm
you
Rachel.
have the deal.
And thank you, Zeek, for being on here.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
And we'll talk to you
Bye.
guys next
Peace.
time. Bye.
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 Peace out.